I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Today, I remember my grandmother. As she attempts to connect with her second children, she finds the only English word she knows hidden deep in the belly of her 4'9" body. And instead of "Cabo," she greets us with "Bye-bye," beckoning us into her thin, clay-colored arms. Dear non-American Black, when you come to America, you become Black. Don't argue. Don't say, "I'm Ghanaian" or "I'm Jamaican." America doesn't care. Dreams that one day their sons, their daughters, their grandsons and granddaughters, great-grandsons and great-granddaughters might pursue prosperity and happiness in this land. That is what America is about. A land of dreams and opportunity. Immigration. A story of opportunity, a story of redemption, and a story of loss. Immigration. A story that I've lived. To journey away on the flimsy prospects of a better future is no small thing. To enter a country where you are constantly faced with systemic hostility and reduced to nothing more than a number, a minority. That is a reality for immigrants all over the US. Having to go over and under for results that citizens could achieve with half the effort, all the while holding on to the waning dregs of culture. Reaching and fighting for any kind of connection to home, if they even knew where home was. So through the pieces, Homeward by Bassi Ikpi, Immigrant by Wyclef Jean, Letter from My Immigrant Parent by Muna Abdullahi, Lessons on Being an African Immigrant in America by Frequency, Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, The Nigerian Pledge, and a speech by Dr. Benjamin Carson. I implore you to empathize with the immigrant experience and reassess your preconceived notions in the hopes that immigrants all over the US will never have to undergo the pain of divided loyalties. A program and a tribute to those who have toiled and traversed unfamiliar terrain in search of a new homeland, but have yet to find a new home. Sometimes I forget, but she remembers. The small, scared girl carried away on an iron bird to America. It seems like that same bird has returned, only to replace her, that perfect girl, with me. This strange, tongue-tied woman, the one that can barely say hello without the clicks and the moans and the dips and the tones of the white man's language. And she listens now as I struggle with Modupe. And it breaks my heart to realize that I can only love her clearly in English. Lessons on being an African immigrant in America. 1, lose your accent. People will make fun of the African girl, but nobody fucks with black girls. Even when young, they can be so angry. 3, when white people stare at you like an animal in the zoo, do not be confused. Not bare teeth when they reach out to pet you and touch your hair without permission. After all, you are so exotic, so foreign, and so other. Some will even call you inhuman. They will call you alien. And my heart still longs for my grandmother's voice, steady and strong, crossing rivers and oceans, running buildings of mud and thatched roof and steel and glass and concrete and confusion, and still I am afraid that it will not find me here. In this land, miles from the ones that brought me into this world, lifetimes before I existed in this cosmopolitan space. What will I teach my children? What will I tell them of where I've been, of the earth that shaped me, and the hands that held me, and the land that made me? What will they call home? 5. When Black people tell you that you aren't really Black, remind them of how Amadou Diallo's dead body looked no different than any other Black man's in this gradual genocide. And I know you may not call it that in this country, but believe me when I say that we know what genocide looks like, know what it sounds like. It is white lies telling families that we are now enemies. We were identical twins separated at birth, now strangers. And the hardest thing that we will both learn how to do is to replant a family tree whose fruits were exploited for gain and whose branches held nooses. And I tell you, man, just before I could think and bing, the African-American girl sitting in the chair next to me goes, "You know you Haitian, and you stink, and you got AIDS, and you need to go back to your country." And I told her, it's funny that you should say that because this isn't even your country. 6. When almost 300 of your West Coast kin go missing, and America claims them as our girls, refrain from asking questions like, why did it take a month and a hashtag for them to claim family when it was in the news? Or why weren't the 60 schoolboys attacked by Boko Haram earlier this year claimed as our boys too? Instead, ask that they do not call me 2012, these 234 to the backs of their browsers. 8. Once you realize that you cannot stop your metamorphosis from African girl to American girl, every time you break free from the Western cocoon and fly to your roots, resist the urge to remain silk in the pupa of stolen comforts. Embrace for the turbulence that will shake your flight with the truth that you are no longer sure which place is home and which place is foreign to you. Oklahoma, DC, and Brooklyn will not help me remember Ecom, Ugep, and Calabar. But they will also not let me forget fingers sticky with fufu swallowed whole and tongues stinging numb from plantain fried in palm oil. But I have lost the grit and the grain of my grandmother's Gary, and I can't taste past this nostalgic lump in my throat. I can't stomach the reality of this, my divided culture, African, American. My daughter, I did not bring you here to be anything like me. You see, the reason I push you to be a lawyer or a doctor isn't about the money. It was never about the money. It is because we live in a system that expects nothing but less from you. So in this house, I expect everything but less from you. So my daughter, take my culture and my native tongue and speak, learn, jump, fail, fall, and get back up, my daughter. Because the best of me lives in you. So speak. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God.